I would love to be able to fangirl this weekend in Phoenix as we're getting ready for the WNBA All-Star. I will miss it. People have been asking me. I will miss All-Star for one really incredible reason. Great friend getting married.
Yeah.
Gonna be at that wedding. That wedding has been established since before I was doing W coverage, so I won't be there. But there's so much excitement in the air, not only for the All-Star, but because of the news that we had on Wednesday, which is that the W has agreed to a $2.2 billion deal in new media rights.
That's
Let's
a B.
Go.
Billion with a B.
So these would be agreements with ESPN, Amazon, and NBC. And it more than triples their existing rights money right now, which is at about $60 million per year. This is an amazing run of women's sports because we had the news confirmed last week that Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, and his wife Willow Bay would be buying the controlling stake of Angel City FC, $250 million. And we are finally, for the first time, seeing all of these, the data points and the metrics and the ratings and all of the attention. We are seeing that tangibly shown how important the investment is and how much it costs. And that is so important that we are actually putting a monetary value to the explosion of women's sports, and it's been great.
I think anytime you talk about, hey, building a structure, you always talk about setting the foundation and then building the infrastructure around it. Well, the foundation obviously has been set for the WNBA since its inception in the late 90s. And it's been a slow build up to this point that it's sort of exploded in the last couple of years. So now the foundation is there. The pieces are in the league operating. You have some grizzled veterans who helped get them to this point. Now you have this young influx of talent and rivalries and the next wave of these players that are going to be coming in. Juju Watkins comes to mind. You saw it on display at the ESPYs. I was fortunate enough to host the Humanitarian Awards last week there, and Julie Ehrman with Angel City FC, they won Sports Humanitarian Team of the Year for everything that they do out there. So it's all positive, forward momentum. So this is great. I don't think there's any sort of excuse now about eyeballs or resources. I mean, you talk about $2 billion with a B, and it's multiple players in the streaming game and in the live rights media game. Obviously, ESPN spearheading so much of it. It's all there. It's all being gift wrapped. Here you go. Take with it what you will. Now do well with it. So let's see it continue to grow. It's all good stuff.
You can see the growth when you look at something like a WNBA All-Star. It's been interesting to hear some of the OGs in the space, Ryan Rucco, Holly Rowe, Rebecca Lobo, LaChina Robinson. They were doing some media talking about the impending All-Star game. And they were like, yo, this All-Star game, like the party used to be like a cheese platter in a dank like banquet room somewhere. Like this is like, it was never really the event that it is becoming, the event that the NBA is, and now it is. I mean, it is.
I thought you were going to say Chili's for a second. I was like, that sounds like a dope party. Have you ever had a triple dipper?
Yeah. Could you even imagine egg rolls like Bonanza?
Why it got to be egg rolls? That's crazy, Elle. Elle, that's really crazy. You're gonna say kielbasa?
No, I'm telling you because when I think of delicious
Southwest egg rolls,
appetizers,
I know.
the Southwest egg rolls and Chili's are the thing.
But you forgot the Southwest part, which is kind of crazy. You wanted to say Eastern. you got your cardinal directions mixed up. You're like, those egg rolls, Far Eastern egg rolls? Yo, those egg rolls do slap. I go to Chili's quite often.
Yeah. And listen, this is not to besmirch Chili's. It's just that, like, maybe they shouldn't be the site of, like, the post-game party for the WNBA is all I'm offering.
If it's good enough for the Dundies, it's good enough for any awards banquet
there you go.
you're about to have.
And, of course, we're going to have, like, more festivities this year. Big if true. Pitbull will be performing.
Dale!
Dale.
Dale!
Dale.
Dale!
Can I make one little gripe about like Pitbull's like statement though when it was revealed that he would be performing at the All-Star game? He's like, I came from a woman.
Oh my God.
And a woman made me a man. And I'm like, you didn't have to do all that.
God dang,
if you were getting the NBA All-Star gig, you would just be like, I can't wait to watch the best at the best. We're going to have a great time. Instead, it's like, he's like, one day my mother missed her period and out I came.
Oh my God. Let me explain y'all a little thing about biology, right? I exited from a womb and can't spell woman without womb. And also that other part. Hey, I think I just made a connection right there, Elle. Hey, you can use that one.
Except for that you can spell woman without womb because there's no B in woman, but that's fine. Woman.
but I just feel like when we were putting together the English language, that one was right there. Like, okay, there's a man, and then it comes out of a womb. A womb man.
Back and rewrite
hey, that's pretty good.
That's what you know. What I'm gonna profess myself to be a woman. A woman. So we've got that. We've got the skills challenge and the 3-point contest. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like a bit of a bummer that in the 3-point contest we're not gonna see arguably the best 3-point shooters in the league in Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum. Now, I understand for Sabrina and Kelsey because they're playing in the Olympics. They're trying to save their arm. They're not really here for the exhibition part of it. Caitlin, I imagine, is incredibly tired. It just feels like it takes a little bit of the wind out of those sails. But I thought that there was a cool sort of stunt casting, if you will. They announced that the Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller is going to actually coach the WNBA All-Stars, who, of course, will be going up against the Olympic roster. And I'm interested,
smack that out.
Who do you think is going to win this one?
Give me the WNBA All-Stars only because not only because, but this entire season, this entire WNBA season buildup has been like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they hate each other, mortal enemies from college, now in the pros. They're getting the best of each other in these regular season games. Oh, but what happens when my enemy becomes my teammate?
Sure.
Right? And now, obviously there was a bigger proponent of why isn't Caitlin Clark on the U.S. women's national team? And now they get to play the U.S. women's national team, so I would love to see that dynamic. Do remember I explained it to you, the gridiron gang style, right? Like 2 opposing gang members, now they're on the same team. Now Angel Reese is the lead blocker for hopefully what is to be a great performance from Caitlin Clark and everybody. And that's why I'm pulling for the WNBA All-Stars, because then they have that feather in their cap. Like, all right, yeah, y'all can go win this gold medal, but don't remember who served y'all back home.
By the way, side note, I love that Gary compared this to like gang members when the closest gang he's ever been to was the West Side Story on Broadway.
Okay, first of all, I did have a cameo in that when I was okay. Yeah, it was when I was in Houston, and they're like, "Do you want to have a performing role as like a cameo for?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was just tucked away in a corner, and I was just 10 seconds and I was out. But then I had to like build it up because it was local news. I ran off stage. Just like, that was one of the most exhilarating moments of my life.
Oh.
Gosh, the stage, the lights, the crowd, the screaming. I don't know what the hell I was doing. They were just like, yo, Gary, go stand in the corner.
And
like literally,
snap.
go stand in the corner.
If this was a movie, you would have been credited as Snapper number 8.
Hey, give me my IMDb though. Send them residuals. You get residuals for plays? Probably not.
I don't think so.
So yeah, that's why. And real quick, obviously the marquee event is WNBA versus U.S. Women's National Team. But I thought, as we're talking about like momentum, forward momentum, like hype and build up, it was just last year where it was Steph versus Sabrina in the 3-point contest, like where Sabrina was, yo, I want the best of Steph. I know that was the NBA All-Star game.
NBA All-Star.
But still, I feel like you could have had a moment like that with these shooters. The Olympics is in 3 weeks.
I know, but the Olympics men's team, because I thought the same thing, but the Olympics men's team is already an exhibition play. Like they're in London right now, so Steph's not, able to come and do.
No, but I'm saying like Sabrina, Caitlin. You know what I'm saying? Like build it up.
Sure. Again, it is a little unique because it's an Olympic year.
Sure.
It's also why I wouldn't really read into too much. Like the WNBA All-Stars versus the Olympic roster. Last time they did this, the WNBA All-Stars actually won. I think it's because the Olympic roster understands they've got much bigger fish to fry. I can't imagine they're going to be doing significant minutes. I can't imagine they're going to be playing their absolute hardest, and they shouldn't. Like
built-in excuses already, Elle. You building in them excuses.
We don't want that because imagine something devastating happening to an integral part of our Olympic team in an exhibition game, and what that looks like when we go internationally to play. Absolutely not. I hope y'all take a break. I hope we do not see too much of you, but that we see a fun, competitive game nonetheless.
Now, the women's national team is going to smoke the rest of the competition, all right? Listen, I'm not a betting man, all right, but I would bet the house on the U.S. women's national team winning their 6th straight gold medals. Is it 6? They're sitting on 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, bank that 6.
Since 1996.
Straight up.
Every
Come
single
on.
Olympic. Now, the one thing that has been interesting and that will certainly add to the conversation based on how they play on Saturday is, of course, Rookie of the Year race. Caitlin Clark, shout out to her. Yesterday against the Wings, she gets 19 assists. That sets an WNBA record that was previously held by Courtney Vandersloot. I mean, Caitlin Clark is absolutely playing out of her mind, despite the fact that they did not get the win, and she noted should have because it was against the Wings, the worst team in the league.
And it's what you didn't say that is profound to me in that statistic. 19 assists is a WNBA record, not a WNBA rookie record.
Yeah, WNBA record.
The record that's been set, and she broke it halfway through her rookie campaign.
Yeah.
I think when people say, like, hey, this Rookie of the Year race, it's a race in that there's other entrants in it, but Caitlin Clark is running away with it. She's a minus 2,000 favorite. Since yesterday, her odds doubled.
Sure, especially after the history bit.
She was already a minus 1,000 favorite to win it.
Not everybody agrees with you, including the Hall of Famer Dawn Staley, who had this to say about who was her current
I got something for
Year
Dawn.
winner. Listen.
If you had to evaluate it from your perspective, who do you think is having that season, you know?
Oh, so you're going to try to put me in the controversy, right?
No,
They both are having great years.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If I had to pick a Rookie of the Year at this time,
like today you had to pick,
today,
you know?
It's Angel.
Yeah,
not a doubt. I mean, what she's been able to do with the double-doubles.
Okay, so I don't agree with the without a doubt part, but I think that this idea that anyone who doesn't choose Caitlin is a hater is ridiculous. Like, listen, Caitlin Clark is still my Rookie of the Year. She is. I mean, she has now scored or assisted on 915 points. That is a rookie single season record. She's about to break the all-time assists for a single season record. And I think that, like, what she is doing, especially at a position, we've already said this on this show, that is harder to translate right away than some of your post positions, she is still my Rookie of the Year. But to dismiss Dawn Staley as some hater who hates Caitlin Clark because she chose Angel Reese, I also think is totally unfair, because I think that someone could make an argument for Angel Reese. It's not such a huge gap that even making the argument is ridiculous is all I'm saying. And I think that, like, I personally think it's Caitlin Clark, and I think most of the population would probably agree. But when you hear from these, you know, Shaq said the same thing. Now we know that Shaq and Angel Reese are related, and so his is tinged, his isn't exactly
Reebok.
Yeah, in objective opinion, but I still think that it is not without the realm of possibility that Angel Reese could do enough to tighten that race. I still don't know that she's going to win it.
It's a very wide gap right now.
The part that Dawn did say that was not in that clip right there that was cut off was she said, I actually think that the Rookie of the Year is going to be whoever ends up making the playoffs.
Thank you for making that point, because I'll raise you your Hall of Famer and give you Rebecca Lobo just this morning on Get Up, who said, you know, toughest strength of schedule, the Fever, and they are currently right now in a playoff spot.
Sure, at number 7.
Ahead of the Chicago Sky, who made the playoffs last year and who are on the fringe of not.
Sure.
So if we're talking about that complete flip-flop, the Sky were a better team last year than they are this year, right? And they are playing worse. Also, assisted in more points. You already mentioned that point, WNBA rookie record. And
they also lost Kalia Copper. I mean, the Sky the Sky got worse and then replaced veteran talent. Kalia Copper was like leading the league in points. So you lose that. And then the Chicago Sky also yesterday traded away Marina Mabry, which was shocking. She's a really integral part of their starting 5.
Participating in the skills contest.
Who's in the skills contest, and she got traded to the Sun. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm just saying it's not as if all things were created equal. The Sky got worse before they tried to supplement. They are rebuilding. They are a team that is rebuilding and right now sit in the 8th spot.
And everybody, when they get Caitlin Clark knows she is getting everybody's best shot every single game. It's like that backcourt's Super Bowl, right? Yeah. In terms of that. So I'm just saying, like, it's Caitlin Clark in a landslide for me right now. It would have to be drastically flipped in the second half of the season to change my mind.